will turn into something else. Even your one time what happened was a mother came with a complaint about her family to me, and then she said, I brought up, right? Brought up this my kid. Now these days he thinks I'm a demon, and he says I'm a demon now. Demon, right? And I fed him. I gave him the best education, and I did this and I did this. Now he says I'm a demon. He's a very ungrateful son. Then I looked at her and said, do you have any regrets? This is your own kid. So are you trying to help this kid from the age of 1 to up to now? Are you always thinking of, if I give the best education to this kid, one day he will look after me and give me very good feelings, good name? Are you expecting these things from the time of when you are feeding this young child? Then she said, no. Then were you unhappy, right? You don't have any expectation from that time. Now why so much expectation? Then she has nothing to say. But then she said, he's my child. How can he do that to me? And I said, maybe something is missing between you two. Maybe if you sat down together, there could be some dialogues between you two and something can be solved. Then she said, never. So I said, okay. I didn't go very deep about this. So something like that. So if you don't do it sincerely, then everything is a complaint. So maybe we have a question? Yeah. Oh, before the question, I forgot to tell you one story. It's a very my teacher Genjazula told me this story, and every time I talk about emptiness, every time I talk about ultimate truth, it clings in my mind. So it's one time what happened in Tibet. So one master kept teaching, a lot of teaching on emptiness. And then the student thought, I'm ready now. I have all the information. I can do it. So he went for a retreat. Then after quite a long time, he came from the retreat, and then he went to see his teacher. And then he said, teacher, I think I have realized emptiness. And then teacher didn't say anything, just smiled. And then he said, bring me this thermos. He just stood up and then grabbed the thermos and poured and everything done. Then the master said, you haven't realized the emptiness yet. Then he was so surprised. What's wrong, right? You must be still feeling what's wrong with us, right? So, as a result of knowing the emptiness, when we talk about like Thomas, So certainly through this analytical meditation, it's difficult you to say where is the real thermos or the bottle, water bottle. But that student doesn't have any doubt. He just grabbed that thermos and just poured a tea. So through this teaching or this story, it tells us don't get attached too quickly. Don't. It is the sign of the good practice of the emptiness. So there should be, like if you go on the phone, this is the phone. Okay, this is the phone. So you just slowly, because your mind is already influenced by the analytical meditation. So then there is still a little doubt. There's no such existence by its own. So there you should put a little break. So that's why teacher caught the student. So this story makes sense to me, but maybe it doesn't make any sense to you. But then once you do the analytical meditation on emptiness, and then you can read many books about it. So then remember my story once again. Then there's a punchline. Okay, so I'm ready for the questions. No questions? Oh yeah, please. Oh, okay. Did you get the question? Right.
No, can you repeat?
Oh yeah. The question, I think, if I'm wrong, please let me know. It's about debate. So she said that I am a debate master. But actually, I'm not a debate master. Debate master was my past life. So we don't call it debate master, but we call it a debate partner for His Holiness Dalai Lama. So my name got Tsenzhab. So Tsenzhab, if you translate that, it's a debate partner. To who? To His Holiness Dalai Lama. So how we don't debate on one thing and repeat it again and again, that's not interesting. But then debate is something like when we do analytical meditation, there's no such thing as I. Then you just go down, and then you automatically have some doubts, right? You feel like, wow, if there's no I, then what happens? What will happen to me? Ultimately, this is a debate. So then you have to answer it. So then you have to think, it does not exist by itself or inherently existence, but there could be I. So on ultimate level, there is no such thing as I, you, anything. But on a convention level, there is I, there is you, there is everything. So to fight with or to overcome with your suffering, and especially the ignorance mind, how it works. So you need the help of the ultimate truth. Because Zindang gave us understand.
And the way you hold the two is contradictory.
Okay. The two, like the way of thinking of the emptiness and way of the ignorance mind, it's contradictory. So it is something like, if it is hot, then you have to put coals into it. Then it becomes cool, right? So also, if you think there is, or this is a different example. So did you get it? A little bit of this? How you debate with yourself, and same thing, you have to, if you have some friend near to you, so then you ask him, where is such thing as I? And then he will say, I think this is the real I. Then you have to answer again, and then you have to prove, and you have to put lots of logic into it. So, several person, diffusion. So something, we always debate, right? We debate during the time of the election, or during the whatever you want to write, you fight for it. It's a debate. So right now, what it makes my debate of my predecessor's debate is something about, he talks more about whether there is past and future life or not. And if Dalai Lama will debate to him, saying, okay, my predecessor might say, oh, there's no such thing as past and future life. Then Dalai Lama has to come with other ideas that prove that there is such thing as past and future life. So this is how the debate works. we're not ready to debate. So okay, so it continues very long, because sometimes there's an ego, right? You won't say, I give up. Until you give up, there's debate. So, okay, so sometimes, because such thing as past and future life cannot be decided in one course or one debate. You cannot just prove it like this. So you have to sharpen your mind again and again, again and again. As Buddha has told his Sanghas, that they have to analyze whatever Buddha has said. Don't take by faith. Just check my words as goldsmith checks his gold. So that's why it's taking a long time. But some people, they don't need such a big debate to practice. For some, yes. For some, no. But for some, because your mind won't agree with you. That's the problem. So if you say, I believe in Buddha, then I really I haven't seen him. And then it's really difficult to follow his words. So all this debate arises, and then there are so many answers. So you have to answer it, then you have to question it. This is debating with yourself. And then you debate with your teachers or your friends. So this is how it is. Because you won't get the answer right away. So because you have to put in your own experience. So you experience very quickly, you don't need to debate. So until you experience it well, then debate continues. Yes.
Just sorry, I wasn't yesterday here, but analytical meditation, it's like a debate stop and debate with yourself.
Yeah, so yourself, with your friends, just checking that you put some logics in that, and then you think about it, then you add more information on this, and then you think about it again.
So thinking.
Thinking, yeah. So,
So what, when you did the thing, when you did analytical meditation 10 minutes ago?
yes, then I said, now go through the
We
first
thought about
one,
that.
second one, those are analytical.
So first thing, when you said, think about a friend said something bad to you, first physical you feel.
Yes.
Feel here,
Yes.
feel bad.
Mhm.
So we think maybe it's I. I here, sit
Yes,
here,
yes.
feel bad.
Yeah.
Then you say, no, someone thinks it's here.
Mhm.
It feels bad. So maybe I is in the mind. You go
Mhm.
up.
Yeah.
You say I is in the mind.
Yes.
But then you think, no, bad.
Yes.
This hurt here.
Yeah.
And then you say, so we said we connected to the body because what feels
Mhm.
maybe debate a little about this. You can explain to us how not to go I in the mind or I in the body or I.
Yeah, so you are checking it, right? When you say, did you say something to me? You just point like this, automatically.
Yeah.
But you are not saying, I am here, right? But you think it's the center, somewhere here. It feels so comfortable to point like this. Maybe near future, the scientists are saying the most important is brain, then you might point it here. But here or there, but if you just check it, it's difficult to find. Now this is the most easiest part, the first aggregate, the physical body. Most people don't think it's very physical. Do you think it's physical? I don't think so. But science, sorry?
Maybe it's more feeling.
Feeling. So now it goes little deeper, right? So, but these days scientists are saying that I or the consciousness, there's no separation between that. The brain is the most important thing, right? So, mostly these days people go through the scientists now, right? Oh, the scientists, they don't lie. And they have points. we buy science, go through the science way. But scientists has never said there's no such thing as a consciousness. They talk about consciousness, but they cannot explain consciousness if they put separate of the brain. They cannot explain anything. But in Buddhism, we say there is a consciousness which is separate from the brain. But then, how do we prove it, right? The scientists before, they are saying, well, through the practice of meditation, they don't believe much on meditation or something, but they say, if you eat good medicine or something, then you will enhance your brain, your brain. Then later they had invited Gishis and Rinpoches, and then they did check on the person during meditation. So then they have seen and they have learned something new out of it. Doing meditation, it enhances brain. Before they are saying, if you strengthen your brain, so the your body and everything will work, and the consciousness works better. But now they're near to say, if you meditate well, it helps your brain. So it's like this, not like underneath. It's coming above the brain now. So, but they're still not ready to say this is the thing, because they have their own box saying the explanation. The brain is the most important, and it's not easy to change this box, because this is their kind of belief, right, system. Okay, so we stop here, and it's 30 minutes break? Okay, 30 minutes break.
אל תסתכלו עליהם, הוא הנמוך בראש.
Yes, I almost fall asleep now. הוא חמוד. It's tough. כאילו שעה קשה. You want to sleep, Shabbat,
כמו שהוא אמר אתמול, this is not a business, יש לי בססגה, סתם, זה לא. אני עושה שם פרסים גם, שבגלל זה כזה כאילו, לא יודע, למרות שזה יש לי קשר בגרוזים, זה חייב להיות לזמן, זה סטנדיאזר, זה הכל בדיוק, זה לא שזה זה הרחמונס וזה זה החולכנס, זה בדיוק, לראות את חלק מאותם, יש ספיסטרה, לא זוכר כזה שתים מלא כדורים שאתה משתתף בכולם ואתה משקף את כולם. והיום גם שאני מסביר למה
סיפרתי לך, כן, כולם. אני התחלתי מהר עכשיו. זה תרגיל מדהים.
כן, סטיב, ברגע שנסיים, תזכור, זה הכבל המעריך לא שלך, אבל מחובר אליו המקרר, אתה תוציא וצריך להחזיר את המקרר. זה שלך, אלכסונים, תגיד אותי.
תאכל, אתה לא נראה טוב, תאכל, אתה לא נראה טוב.
זה